This tutorial is about CSS float property. The CSS float property specifies how an element should float. The float property is used for positioning and formatting content. Example, let an image float left to the text in a container. The float property can have one of the following values, and the values are left, right, none, and inherit. If the value is left, the element floats to the left of its container. If the value is right, the element floats to the right of its container. If the value is none, then the element does not float, and if the value is inherit, the element inherits the float value of its parent. In its simplest use, the float property can be used to wrap text around images. So over here I have used three values of the float property, and those are left, right, and none. So for each value I have written one heading and two paragraphs, and in the last paragraph I have written one class, and the value of the class is the value of the float property, and in the CSS file I have styled those three paragraphs whose class values are right, left, and none. So over here for the first heading and two paragraphs, this particular section displays float right, and on the browser it looks like this. So you can see that the image floats to the right. So the image will float to the right in the paragraph, and the text in the paragraph will wrap around the image. So simply you have to write float right. And that class, that is the right class, I have written that in the image tag over here, because the image is floating to the right of the text. Similarly, if you want the image to float to the left of the text, you will write float left, and you will write this particular class name, that is left, in the image tag as I have written over here. And this is how it looks on the browser. So the second paragraph and this image displays float left property. So in this example, the image will float to the left in the paragraph, and the text in the paragraph will wrap around the image. And the last value is the none value. So again, in the image tag I have written class equals to none, and then in the CSS file I have written the name of the class, that is .none, and then I have written the property float, and the value of it is none. So over here, that is the last image and the last paragraph. In this example, the image will be displayed just where it occurs in the text, because the float value is none. So that is how you can use float property in your HTML file. Thank you.